Welcome to Shepherd's Coffee Talk. We dashed down the Danube with you, Denise. But you have such a wonderful story to share.
Well, let's start by, we're having dinner. Denise, her sister, Christine, yes, who lives in Huntsville.
Mm-hmm.
My husband and I are having dinner with them. And so chit chat, or maybe it was breakfast. Chit chat. So, her sister Christine had just moved to Huntsville, so she was talking about the move. And then I got my sister to come. So and Denise, you're from Ottawa. Yes, I'm from Ottawa. I said, so what do you do? And she said, I'm a cemeterian.
Question mark.
And I'm like,
Yes.
well, that's got me curious. So what is a cemeterian? So we wanted Denise to come in today to join us for Coffee Talk because her story's so interesting.
Yes.
You know how in life we think maybe we're going to do this and we end up doing that, but it makes us so much more happy than what we thought we were going to do. So that's what Denise's story is all about. So can you first, though, describe what a cemeterian is for us?
So a cemeterian is a person who either through pre-arrangement or at the time of need manages the cemetery plans in the cemetery.
Okay.
So it involves the memorial marker, it involves the plot, it involves urns, it involves interment fees, and all of that kind of arranging.
All of the plans we all need to make.
Now you said there's other explanations or other titles for that might be a little bit more familiar
Yes.
with.
So in today's jargon, sometimes we're known as family services, family directors, not a funeral director. I'm not a funeral director. I can be a pre-planner because I can do that pre-planning component to cemetery work. Also, in my particular position, I work with families when death has occurred. So I meet that family and I take what happens from a cemetery perspective and I work with the family to create
Whatever they need.
Exactly.
Whatever they need.
And it takes a very special person to work under those conditions. What bubbles up to help you do that? Because you have to have a lot of empathy and yet not get too caught up in it because you have to stay professional and help them through this.
So for me, it's an opportunity to help somebody and to guide them when they're really in a vulnerable spot. We are licensed to work with the vulnerable sector of the community, so we're very cognizant of that. And you walk them through the decision making. You be prepared to explain it 3 or 4 times because sometimes it's a deer in the headlights situation.
Sure, of course.
And it's easy to be kind to people when they're hurting. So it really helps to know that you're guiding them and helping them, and that's just where it comes from.
Now, initially, your studies, Denise, were in you were going to be working with kids.
I did work with kids for many, many years, and then in my 40s I went back to university and got my degree in child studies.
Okay.
Change lanes.
So I did. And then,
midlife.
yeah, exactly. And then when I was looking for work, a friend of mine who's a funeral director said, why don't you just come and work until you find a job in child studies? And then 11 years later, I'm not looking for work in child studies, so it's all good.
And it is because I think what you've described is that the joy and job satisfaction is because you're being of service to people.
Correct.
And that's what we talk about here, Marlene, all the time is in this chapter of our life, when we're 40 plus, we want to look for how we can be of service in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Often we're looking at ambition, building our foundation, family, all those things, but at this stage, it really is about how can I have meaning? How can my life have meaning? So I think you've answered, it takes a lot of courage too to do what you've done, to go back to school in your 40s and get another degree and then come out with a clear goal and then to shift lanes and
To shift it all again.
So Denise, are there actual trends in funerals?
So there is. We're seeing more people being cremated and some kind of celebration around cremation because the urn is a little bit less blatant in terms of compared to having a casket. We're seeing celebrations of life that means bringing personal objects of the person that we loved into the room, having it a little bit more casual, having eulogies that talk about memories in a little bit less formal way. We are licensed where I work, and that is a difference because it's nice to be able to raise a toast to the loved one. So there's a little bit of a difference there, and it's also safer. Realistically, it's safer.
Right.
So we're seeing that.
I guess that trend of cremation in the urn responds to people's interest in minimizing their carbon footprint ultimately.
That's a
there's a
component too.
there's a forward-thinking idea that how many of us are going to be like, how are we going to keep doing this? So we have to find new ways to celebrate people's lives, but without taking away that important piece of the community gathering, right?
And without going into this in too much detail, when the Pope a couple of years ago said it's okay to be cremated, previous to that, the Catholic Church had said no to cremation.
Got
So
it.
when the Pope stepped in and said yes, and I think that there's a carbon footprint piece to that,
Okay.
then more people also started saying, okay, I can do the cremation.
Right.
And that's a different.
And we talked about trends and everything, but I know when my father died many 45 years ago, it was very important to have the visitations because it gave that opportunity us to adjust, to hear the stories, and so many times we're not doing that.
So the journey of grief when you lose someone starts at that time when everybody gathers to support you. And when you realize that you've got a community, you've got people, you've got family, you've got friends that are all walking alongside of you during that process, that's when your journey starts. And a lot of people say, oh, don't worry about me, I don't want anything, but it's the family that's left behind.
They're the ones that need it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if it's a full visitation, if it's a celebration of life, and it's you know, going to a restaurant and sharing a meal and sharing stories about the person that
Yes.
you
Exactly.
lost,
Yes.
right? And
yes.
laughing and
Yes.
crying and
Yes.
and you know that one joke that they always say, right? Like we all have
Yes.
that,
Yes.
right? That helps the people that are left
Yeah.
behind to
Right.
know that they're not alone. That we've either all lost somebody or we're going to. I mean, that's the
Sure.
reality. So,
And telling the stories keeps their spirit with
Exactly.
us.
Yeah.
It keeps them in the room, and that's also, I think, important, that they're not
Exactly.
forgotten because they're
No.
not physically with us. Can I ask you an etiquette question?
Absolutely.
Because one of the things I find, and people tell me this, on the ongoing, I don't know what to say. So they don't want to go to a wake because they don't know what to say. Or you're the person grieving and you're missing your loved one who was maybe very ill at the end. People say to you, oh, well, it's a blessing. But that's not the right answer for me. So can you give me or us some tips on how to handle this?
From a personal perspective, because I have lost my mom and I've lost my stepdad, I'm sorry. My condolences. I can't imagine what you're going through, but my heart goes out to you. Even if you've lost somebody, you still can't imagine what they're going through because your journey is different from my journey. You can say if you say it's a blessing and you're receiving that message and you don't feel like it is, it's just know that they don't know what to say and that they're just sending you their love in the way that they know how to. I have sat down with a gentleman who lived with his mom, and his mom died at 94, and he had his mom his whole life. And so to say it's a blessing that she passed that's not for him, right? And then I've sat down with a family who lost their 94-year-old parent who said, I'm really happy that they left us now before they suffered too much. So there isn't a right
Let them
answer.
lead the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just know that I'm giving you my condolences and giving you my
Sympathy or
good
my
wishes, my
empathy,
sympathy,
yeah.
my yeah.
And
that
what
goes
do you
out to
say to people who say, "Oh, I can't go to a funeral. I can't go to a wake. It makes me whatever,
Uncomfortable, yeah.
uncomfortable."
Yeah.
It's really not about them.
It's not about them, and if you can't go to the funeral, can you reach out in some other way? Send a card, send a message. I know social media is a big thing now, and we're sending a lot more messages now. That's a touchy subject. Can I just say, please do not on any social media mention somebody's passing before a family member has posted it.
Right.
It's very tricky to step into that, and there may be people that don't know.
Yes.
So.
And you know, that type of public grieving, I mean, we could have a whole other conversation
Yes, we
about
could.
grieving on social media.
Yeah.
Anyway, Denise, you're a superstar.
Yeah.
Thank you for informing us, right, Marlene?
Yeah.
We need
Yes.
some guidance here.
Well, we certainly can tell during our experience with you dashing down the Danube, you always had such empathy, such kindness that you came out of you all the time. So you're really in a perfect career to really help with people who are going through this.
And
So
cheers to
thank
you.
Thank
Keep
you.
up the great work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy the
Thank
day.
you.